Right, a 2-1 defeat over here against Ashton Town. Can you just give me a quick overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, fair play to Ashton. Probably on the balance of play, you've got to say maybe deserved the win, because I don't think we did enough today. But that said, we've had some good chances. The 2 goals we've conceded, from our perspective, both really poor goals to concede. But I just think we had far too many players who were off it today. And we stressed before the game the importance of work rate, effort, and out-fighting them, a bit similar to how we played at Main Road. And unfortunately, I just think too many players didn't show up today, and we just didn't show that sort of commitment and that fight desire that we've shown previously in games.
You have got to think though, right? A bit of a lacklustre first half, you could say, but there was definitely some different fight to get back into it in the second half.
Obviously, there's a slope on the pitch. The first half they were quite direct. They put us under a lot of pressure. A sloppy goal for us to concede when we conceded it, because we weren't really under too much pressure. Gave the ball away cheaply on the edge of the box, and they finished it. They did have the lion's share, I think, of possession in the first half, which we thought they might do anyway. But second half, I just felt really when the second goal went in, we sort of collapsed a little bit. Too many heads went down. We stopped doing a lot of the basics. We stopped tracking back. We stopped getting our shape. However, then Kirby pulls us back with a goal, and then suddenly our tails are back up. And once we got back to 2-1, it only looked like one team was going to score, but unfortunately, we just couldn't manage to find the goal. Yeah,
but as you mentioned, of course, Aidan Kirby, do you think now he is starting to get on the score sheet a bit more? Do you think he will go into some form?
Well, I said to Curbs, for the last few weeks, all strikers, as Aidan knows, they go through a little bit of a barren spell. You have periods where you don't score, but he's an experienced striker, and he knows that that's not going to stay forever. He took his goal really well today, to be fair to him. It was a tight angle, and it was a great finish. And I've said to Curbs, once you get one, then I'm pretty sure that the goals will start to flow. And obviously, a couple of minutes later, he's nearly added a second one as well. I think just got underneath it, and it flicked over the bar. But yeah, Kirby brings a lot more to the team than just his goal-scoring prowess. His physicality up there, his ability to bring other players into the team. But yeah, it's. But we said before the game, we need to start scoring more goals. We need to be better on our set pieces. We need to be better on the throw-ins that we've got as well. And all the players are responsible for scoring. It's not just Curbs' responsibility. We've only scored one goal from a corner this season, which was direct up at Holker. So our set pieces need to be better. Everyone needs to be chipping in. Jack Lynn's had a great chance near the end, which he's got to do better with. When you get gilt-edged chances like that in a game like this, you've got to take those chances.
Yeah, but you have got to think as well, from like Kirby's goal. Then we were kind of pushing, looking for the second, for the third. Do you think getting the first goal in the game will give us that needed confidence?
Well, I've always said goals change games. If you score certain periods of the game, then it can change that game. We didn't score the first goal, but equally as well, you've got to show a bit of resolute when you go one behind. You've got to regroup. The most important thing I've always said is once we concede is we don't concede again, which we didn't. Obviously conceding an early goal in the second half didn't help us, but I felt once we'd got back to, like you said, back to 2-1, we were the better side, and there was only us really looked like scoring. But we've got to be more clinical in that final third, and I think we need to have a little bit more quality and a little bit more creativity in there, because whilst we've created a couple of chances today, we're still probably not creating as many chances as I'd like us to.
Yeah, but of course, final question. You have got to think pretty much in every single game this season, we always concede two first before we actually get going. Do you think that's going to be a problem of the season?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, Luke, because I think we've had a few clean sheets this season, and I think defensively, certainly early part in the season, our defensive, strength has been what's got us the results. There've been a few games. Brad's kept 3 clean sheets already this season. So I think in terms of where we need to be, we can't just keep relying on keeping clean sheets. We've got to think, we need to score more goals. And we said to the team, before the game, we haven't scored more than 2 goals in a game this season. And if we're going to be challenging or we want to have some kind of a successful season, we've got to add those goals to us because, it's the oldest cliche in the book. It's goals that win your football matches.
Thanks for your time, Roy.
Cheers, Luke.